What is going on? Bro, I don't know who's about to listen to this. I don't know who's about to watch this, but I missed you, bro. I missed you so much. I miss just being able to talk to you and just to be able to like get these words from my brain unto you. Uh so yeah, I really just life has changed a lot since the last time I shot one of these. Let me look. The last video I made, let me see. Technically the last video I made was like last month, but but then freaking I shot another video, but then I totally like botched it by recording it, and then I recorded another clip, and then I only posted the 5 minute clip from that. So I just like sold the whole thing, and I just now realized when I was like thinking about making another video, I was like, how long has it been? Then I looked, it said 1 month. I was like, okay, that's not that bad. And I clicked the video, 5 minutes long. So I deleted it, and then I'm basically just redoing it now again, which kind of helped me out because I had some ideas, but I didn't have the graph like the notes I had for this other one, so kind of helped me out. So my last video was 6 months ago, and it was about building strong foundation and not a sandcastle. So basically, building on the rock and not the sand. And to be honest, I held back for a really long time of speaking like biblically or about anything that has to do with God because I felt like no one's gonna listen, no one's gonna listen. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter how many people listen. If I can help out one or two people, if I can help out one person, literally just one person, that's all that I care about. So I'm gonna speak the way that I believe, and I'm going to speak sometimes uncomfortably. I know that conviction be hitting me when I get talked to like this. So I'm trying to fix this lighting, but it doesn't really matter either because I just want to show off all this stuff. Look, I'm moving, so all of this I need a pack, and I'm not. I know it's not gonna be hard, but I'm just not looking forward to it. Um, so yeah, so basically today I just wanted to talk about being born into the challenge of the flesh and how we were born into it, obviously not by our own will, but we were born into it, and there's a spirit inside of us that God made and God knew before we were even in our mother's womb, so before we were even flesh. But the only thing we know when most of the time when we're born is the flesh because most of the elders and people around us, that's all they know. But there is a part of you, there is something inside of you that is greater than your flesh, that is led by God and not led by your own feelings and understanding. And I just want to be able to kind of help you guys figure out how to hear that voice a little more than just to hear your own, like, I'm feeling tired today. I'm feeling whatever, you know? Because obviously your feelings are always going to be there. Your feelings are never going to not be there. They're always going to be there. But I feel like it's a thing of being able to hold them captive and be able to tell them who is Lord of your life. And Lord of your life is basically who you're listening to, like who you're following direction from. Um, so the first thing really I want to talk about is just being born into the struggle of flesh. So like just being born. Like being born, you are automatically put into this challenge of trying to get through. And that's not what God intended for us. Everyone thinks, oh, why would God make us if we're just going to struggle throughout life? That's really not what God made us for. God made us to be in the Garden of Eden with Him, to be able to dwell with Him, to be able to enjoy life with Him eternally. But then He put man onto the earth. So He put the flesh onto the earth and gave us free will. And then He put that man to sleep. Well, first of all, he made that man from dust, blew life into him, and then he became a human. That's crazy. But then he put that man to sleep, ripped his rib out, and then made a woman. So then now they're able to coexist together because God said that man is not supposed to live alone. Man is supposed to have someone there with him to be able to help. So So then they were put into these two people were put together in the Garden of Eden, and they dwelled with God. And mind you, they were naked. So they didn't know that being naked was a wrong thing, but God put all these trees, all these fruits in the Garden of Eden, and He said, you can eat from every single tree except from this tree that's in the middle right here, because that was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And we didn't have to know what good and evil was because God took care of it for us. So, so when uh, Eve, she was at the garden. She was like, oh, why wouldn't I be able to eat this? What is so special about this one that I can't eat this one? So then the serpent, which is the enemy, we'll just call him that. I know you know what I'm talking about, but we don't need to speak of that. But the enemy was there, and he was as a serpent. So this is a snake. And the snake was talking to her saying, "Oh, well, he just doesn't want you to know things because you'll be as God." So then he's just fearful that you're going to take over. Which the same thing happened to the enemy. He thought he was better than God. He thought he could do things better than God, so he tried to take him over, but no sir. So then he got struck down onto the earth, and that's why he's a serpent in the world. Um but then he got struck down, and then now he's trying to tell them he knows what this will do. He knows what this tree will do if they eat it. So he's convincing the woman to do it because he knows that the woman isn't led by Adam right now because Adam doesn't even know. Well, he knows better, but he can't even fathom to know better. So he's just listening to what God has to say, and God's telling him, do not eat this. But he wasn't able to tell Eve yet because Eve wasn't like made when he told Adam. So then So then Eve is like, okay, she's listening to the serpent because she doesn't know that the serpent's a bad person or a bad thing. So then, so then Eve is communicating with the serpent, and then the serpent's like, just eat it. You'll be as strong as God. So then she eats it, and then right away she goes to tell Adam. But then Adam doesn't think twice about it because he's just like he's stuck over on his flesh already before the flesh was even powerful. He was stuck over the flesh of just listening to his woman instead of listening to God. Because no matter who you're around, sorry, no matter who you're around, God needs to be above that person at all times, no matter what their status is in the world or anything, because all these statuses in the world don't mean anything. Your vice president, your president, your commander, your sergeant, your whatever it is, your boss, it genuinely does not matter if you have a higher spiritual level than them, because that is all that matters. Everything else in this world, this whole room, all these posters on the wall, every item that I have in this room is going to be dust. This flesh is going to be dust one day, but the spirit inside of me is going to live eternally with God. My spirit has been with God all of my life, but I don't know about it because all I have is knowledge of this brain. This brain is the only knowledge I have. I only remember till I was like 8 years old. I don't remember anything before that, but my spirit knows. My spirit knows. So everything of this earth is going away. And Adam didn't know that. He thought that we were able to live any way that we wanted to because we were with God. So then he listened, he just remembered he just listened to what the woman had to say, Eve, and then ate the fruit. And then the second they ate the fruit, they became shameful because they knew good and evil. So now, since they were like we were saying, they were naked, they went and they were naked, but then the second they ate the fruit, they said, "Oh no, why am I naked? This is weird." So then they put a fig tree leaf on them. And if you know what a fig tree looks like, that thing is like those leaves are small if it's just like one or two. So they're going around just covering. That's it. But they're still like their skin's all out and everything. And they go to hide because they're hearing God walk in the Garden of Eden, and they're fearful. And God asks, Where are you at?" And they're like staying quiet, but then they come out and they said that we were hiding from you because we were naked. And then God said, "Who told you that you were naked?" Because they had no conception of being clothed. They've never seen someone clothed. They've never seen clothes in general. So the second he saw that they were scared about being naked, he knew right away. What have you done? He knew they ate the fruit. He knew that they're going to be condemned for the rest of their life. He knew that when they had children, that one of their children were going to be evil and kill the other one. They were just going to be cursed. He knew it all because the second they ate that fruit, they put us all into this challenge. They put us all into this struggle of being born. But that's not what God's intention was. So a lot of people just they don't understand that because they want to say that, oh, we're not wrong. This isn't our fault. But it really is, because if we were all in Adam and Eve's position, we would have done the exact same thing, because at some points you think that you are better than God. You think that you have higher knowledge than God, but God sees all. We only see the perspective of what we have here. God has a perspective of the whole universe. Think about that. That's crazy. Sorry about that little tangent, but I feel like that was good to add on to, but yeah, just being consumed in the flesh when we're born, everyone around us, everything around us, friends, family, loved ones, whatever it is, when you're going to school, when you're first going to school, when you get your first job, everyone is consumed by their flesh. You have to you have to hope to God that God's gonna put you in a life where you're gonna have someone who is like in their faith, because if not, you're just gonna be consumed by the flesh. Because say you're in a low income house where you have a whole bunch of siblings or something like that, or even if it's just yourself and your parents or your mom, whatever it is, like single parent, you're going to be consuming things that are easily consumable, which aren't good for you physically. So then you're always going to be dependent on those quick fixes. You're probably going to be put a TV or an iPad or games in front of your face, so you're always be consumed by dopamine. Or phone. I don't know if I said phone, but phone. Friends around you, you're always going to want to have validation from those family members, because as a kid you don't know what is good and bad attention, so you're just going to hope that you get attention. Man, that used to be me like crazy, bro. Like, I remember at home I would get no attention at all, so then I would go to school, act up, and get attention there, and then obviously it would come back to home because my my teachers would tell my mom. So then it was like a consistent, like in sixth grade, I almost got expelled, bro. Like, it was crazy. Like, my principal even told me, he was like, "You're gonna be a garbage man when you grow up. You're gonna be homeless, like whatever this is." He said something like that, and it like that stuck with me for a really long time. And I thought I was gonna be that for a really long time because that's what he told me, and that's what I was like consumed by, because I didn't have God telling me different in my mind at that time, because I just didn't allow it, because I was just too young to understand, and no one around me was telling me except my grandma. My dad's mom was the only person who ever had God in her life, but she only spoke Spanish for real, so she couldn't like communicate to me. And my family, they used Spanish to speak about drama. So then they wouldn't teach me so that they could talk behind me, and it was like it was crazy. But yeah, I thank God for my grandma, because without her, I genuinely don't know where I would be. Even the small things she was able to teach me, like believe in God, like that's all she would really be able to tell me. And then she would take me to her Pentecostal's old Spanish speaking church, and like I would be there and I just wouldn't understand, but I would always have a a lighter feeling there. Like, I would always have this presence of Jesus and God around me that calmed me down a little bit until it didn't. Like, I got ADHD, bro, so it was like I was sitting there. She would lay a coat out on the floor in front of her so I could lay down and take a nap or like play right there. It was like it was crazy. But yeah, so like we are when we're born, we're automatically consumed in the flesh. So we just have to, like, now that we understand that we were consumed by the flesh, we have to be able to break those things down and just reconnect back with the spirit. Like, the spirit is where we find our strength. God tells us in our fleshly weakness, he becomes stronger. God becomes stronger. So in those times where we feel like we know everything, or we feel like we don't know everything, when we feel like we know everything, we have to fall on our face multiple times for us to understand that we don't know everything. Like, there's so many times I've been humbled. Like, I started to do door to door right after I graduated high school, and there was so many times I had no idea what I was doing when I first got there. Like, my first day in riding in the car with my dude Bosco, bro, he had to teach me the script in the car right before we went door knocking. Like, I was obviously studying it, but I wasn't for real, bro. And I Yeah, and I was learning, and then I knew nothing about insurance when I first started, but then I just kept falling on my face, learning more from like client situations, like just kept learning, and then that's when I figured it out. So the same thing really for your flesh and your spirit. You keep thinking you know better until you realize you don't know better, and you kind of like hit your head against the wall enough to realize and say like, I got no other choice. Let me try something else. So, but then other people think like trying drugs or women or like all those things are going to be that something else, but it's really God. Like it really is God, the spirit of God. It's not, that's what makes it so hard for people to understand because the spirit of God isn't a physical thing. The spirit of God is a spirit. Like this, all the spirit we have inside of us, God gave us a piece of that spirit inside of us to be able to recollect, to reconnect with God. And he sent Jesus down to earth to be able to teach us what God has for us. Because there was a law of Moses before Jesus was around, but the law of Moses came from God and God sent Jesus. So then Jesus is the one basically who made the law of Moses. So then Jesus was on earth to be able to fulfill the law of Moses and then give us the new laws of Jesus and God to be able to fulfill those laws after. So it's 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 so hard to run towards God when you're first doing it because you don't have any idea. But I am not the type of person to be like, the Bible's going to change your life, which I do think it is. But to a new person who's coming into it, I'm not going to say, oh, you need to get in the Word. You need to be reading every day. You need to be. It's hard to read the Bible, bro. I just got, this was my first Bible ever. This is my first Bible ever. I held on to this Bible for probably 2 years before I actually started reading it. And now I got like my notes and everything in there. Some of it's highlighted, like, and the highlighting really does not mean anything if you're not consuming what it actually saying. Like you have to be able to read and consume before you can just highlight, you know? Because first, and especially because this is King James, bro. King James is so hard to read. It is so hard to read. I need this fan. There's a lot. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just do that. Oof, I really hope that doesn't affect you guys, but it's hot. But King James is so hard to read. This was so hard for me to let go. But then I just got this one. This is NLT. So this is new language translation. Sorry, I'm bad with like the nitty gritty. New Living Translation. Sorry, this is a New Living Translation, so it's a lot easier to read. Like I just read. Let me show you real quick. Little tidbit side note, real quick. Let me show you. 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 Come on, come on, come on. Here we go. One second, one second, one second. Sorry for the weird, awkward silence, but I need to show you. I need to show you. I need to show you. Sorry, sorry, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Real quick. Sorry, 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 sorry. You could probably skip like 30 seconds. Give me like 30 seconds. I'll find it. I can never. I don't get why I can never find Ecclesiastes, even though it's my like one of my favorites. It's because it's so small. I think there's only 12. Frick. It's only 12 chapters. So yeah, 12. There we go. Okay, so in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, in the King James version, this is Old English. This is like later. This is earlier, like when the Bible was like first made, like when it was translated from Hebrew to English. Like this is one of the first ones it was made. So this is why it's a little different. Listen. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Give a portion to 7, and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. If the cloud be full with rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. If the tree fall towards the south or towards the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. Okay, so that's 4. That's 11 1 through 4 in Ecclesiastes. I'm gonna read 11 through 4 on here. in the New Living Translation. Send your grains across the sea, and in time profit will follow back to you. But divide your investments among many places, for you do not know what risk might lie ahead. When clouds are heavy, the rain comes down. Whether a tree falls north or south, it stays where it falls. Farmers who wait for perfect weather never plant. If they watch every cloud, they never harvest. Dude, that is way easier to read. NLT is way easier to read than New King James. Well, that's not even New King James. That's just King James. But I recommend, for me, I appreciated King James so much because it made me intentfully read. Like, I had to intentfully choose to read this because it's very easy to go through it when you're first reading because it's like, oh, okay, I read 3 chapters today, or I read 10 chapters today, whatever it is. But if you're not consuming it, if you're, okay, I can't remember who said this to me one time. It might have been it might have been like one of my old leaders, Gabe. He said, if you're basically just scrolling through the Bible, you're chewing on the steak of the word. Like the the word is like nutritious, like meat for you. So you're just chewing on it. But if you're intently reading, you're consuming it. You're chewing, enjoying it, and then swallowing it. But when you're just chewing and reading through, it's not going into your body to neutral not neutralize, because neutralize is like shooting and you're dead, but like give you nutritions. um so I do recommend, if you're new to like following God or looking for something higher than yourself, I say get a Bible and try to read it as much as possible. Like, it doesn't have to be every day, it doesn't have to be every morning and night. Just read it. Try to read it as much as possible anytime on your free time, please. I'm giving this knowledge of this Bible because this Bible is not my knowledge, but I have found life-changing knowledge in this book. In this book right here, I found life-changing knowledge. There is over, let me see. There's 66 chapters, mind, first of all, 66 different books, and then within those chapters, there's a whole bunch of different, and within those books, there's a whole bunch of different chapters. But there's 1,704 pages in this Bible of pure knowledge, pure godly knowledge. Why wouldn't you want? Why wouldn't you want this? Because it is so different from any other religion, because every other God tells you that you have to be as good as that God to be able to get to eternal life. But Jesus tells us that we are never good enough. We can never do enough good works to earn eternal life with God. All we have to do is just have faith in God. So every other religion, you have to reach towards God. With Jesus, an actual God, they come down to you and they show you their power to show that you're not powerful enough. You are the ruler of your own world through God, but if you are the own ruler of your own world and it's just you are the ruler, there's nothing you can do, because God can give you all the intuition in life, but if you do not make the physical, intentful action to put that into life, there's nothing that you can do. So you are able to run your world through God because God gives you the intuition, then you make it an actual thing. You make it a physical thing. But if you have no intuition from anywhere else, and you're just allowing yourself to be the ruler of everything, first of all, you're going to get burnt out because it is so hard to be able to run everything the perfect way that you want it to happen. It's never going to happen. Nothing is perfectly going to happen. Secondly, you're going to do something stupid and you're going to fail and you're going to think that it's your fault, which it technically is your fault because you're doing it on your own, so of course it's going to be your fault. Third, there is going to be a time where you feel so discouraged to do things and you don't have anything else to lean on except these worldly things, except other people, except drugs, except women, except alcohol, except money. Anything of this world that is going away, you're going to lean on those things to make you feel good again. But those things you're gonna have to continuously chase. Just like every other religion, you're gonna have to chase that thing to show that, oh, I'm good enough, I'm good enough. Please, please, please choose me. I'm good enough. You're going to have to do the same exact thing with the drugs, the women, the money, the alcohol, the dopamine hits, whatever it is. You're going to have to do the same thing of you're gonna feel good for that hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. Then you're gonna have to fall asleep without those things and wake up again without those things and have to chase those things over and over again. But God comes to you every single day and renews you with strength. Renews you with strength, bro. I just got this tattooed, bro. Isaiah 40:31. I got an eagle tattooed because Isaiah 40:31 says, whoever trusts within the Lord renews their strength and is able to soar on eagle's wings. And that just like it fills me so much every single night and every single day to know that God fills me with strength to be able to continue on if he allows my next day. Because bro, I'm telling you, there was so many times in my life where I would wake up 4 or 5 in the morning, my heart and like my whole body, not even just my body, not even my heart, my whole body is thumping because I'm so anxious of what I have to do and accomplish that day. Because going door to door, I had no help, no managers, no nothing helping me. I had to go and figure it out myself, bro. And that is such a stressful thing when you have no idea what you're doing, bro. And I'm telling you, once you just allow God to take over your life and you just allow him to be Lord in your life, there is such a relief, bro. Like you don't know, I can be the brokest person, the dumbest person, the ugliest person, the non like useful person in the room, but I would still be one of the joyfulest people in the room because I know that God is coming back to me one day. God is coming back to all of us one day and is going to save us from this flesh, from this world, bro, because this world is so hard, bro. Like I just watched Odysseus in the movie theater with some friends last night, bro. Movie changed my life, bro. It showed me how faithful people can be to someone who they really have faith in. Like I don't want to spoil the movie, but if you watch the movie, you know, bro. The people who had faith in bro who left, they were locked in. They knew he was coming back. This dude's son that never even met him fully knew that he was coming back, bro, because he just knew in his heart. He just knew in his heart that he was coming. So we have to do the same exact thing for God. Like we have to know that he's coming back to save us. He is coming back to take his kingdom. He is coming back to make a new heaven and a new earth. And I just like I'm so joyful about that, bro. I am so joyful that one day all these people that oppress people, all these people that judge, all these rich people, all these broke people that try to act rich, bro, they are all going to have to take judgment from the righteous God. And I know that when I come, I know that I'm gonna mess up and I know that I'm gonna struggle, but I know that Jesus is gonna back me up. I know that Jesus is gonna back me up because Jesus knew what I went through. Jesus, oh my gosh, God knew what I went through at all times. Only me and God know. Only Jesus knows. Jesus came down to this earth. He stepped off the right hand of God to come down to earth to understand what we felt. To understand what we felt, bro. To understand those times where we didn't feel chosen, when we felt like we were repressed by others, when we felt like we had no idea what we were doing, when Jesus was crying out to God, saying, "God, take this cup away from me if it's in your will, God, take it away," because it was just so hard. This life is so hard. It is so hard on our shoulders. It is so heavy on our shoulders. But God takes it away from us, bro. God takes that weight away from us, bro. And I can't wait for God to come back, bro, because God's seen everything I've been through. I God has seen everything I've been through, and every time I've been oppressed, every time I've been felt like I've been alone, anytime I felt like I haven't been able to see anyone there for me, bro. Anytime I've been there for people and they weren't there for me, bro, God has seen it. And God has chosen me every single time, no matter what, and He's given me new strength within that. Like, no matter what happens, no matter how many times I feel alone, no matter how many times I feel like I'm not chosen by others, no matter how many times I feel like I'm just by myself, I know that God is there with me at all times, and I can't wait to just thank God right in His face. Like I can't wait to just thank God for every time He's given me strength to be able to continue, bro. Because there's been so many times in my life where I felt like I wasn't able to continue because I had no I had no purpose in life. I had no idea who to call to. Like My mom's always been there for me, but it's just been like it's just been only so much she can do for me. Like my family, like a lot of my family's never been there for me, and just the second I felt God's presence, I knew that it was something different. Like it was different than anything else could please me in this life, bro. And I just like I try to do my all every single day to just show God that I'm worshiping Him, God, bro. Like, just to show Him, like, and worship doesn't look like singing songs, dancing around. Like, it's meaning like putting down the things that we were consumed by all our life. Like weed for me was so hard to let go. It was so hard to let go because that was the only thing I felt like I was connected to. That was the only thing that made me feel like I can relax and I can take a deep breath. But but the breath that God breathes into me, bro, is something that I can never ever let go of. No matter how quiet he gets, no matter how distant I feel from God, I know that God is so true because he's shown up for me day in and day out. Every single day of my life he has shown up. Every single day. Even when I didn't feel him, he still did. He was still protecting me. Even when I didn't want him in my life, he was still protecting me, bro. And he does the same exact thing for you. So please, I'm just asking you, give him a chance. Give him a chance to be in your heart and dwell there. Because there is so much in this world that is going to try to challenge you, is going to try to test you, is going to try to oppress you. I promise you. If you're younger, bro, I'm telling you, you might think that you got it all together, bro, but you don't. You do not. That vape that you're stuck on, that those friends that you're stuck on that you know that are not good for you, that sport that you're putting over God, that job that you're putting over God, the family you're putting over God. Because God, bro, Jesus came down, he said the second time I came down was to give a sword down, to give a sword to separate the righteous from the unrighteous. Because there are righteous people in this world. They might still be sinners, but they know who God is and they know that Jesus saved them. And you can do the exact same thing. You don't have to come perfect. You don't have to come pitch perfect, bro. You don't go into a shower. You don't clean yourself and then go into the shower. You go dirty and then go into the shower. You do the same thing with God. You come dirty. You come broken. You come looking for a savior. And Jesus and God does it for you. I'm telling you, they do it for you, bro. I just got into a crazy tangent and I'm only off of I'm only on 3 freaking boxes, bubbles, and we're on 32 minutes. But the flesh is strong, and you got to use God's grace. God's grace is way more sufficient than anything in this world. There is nothing that God's grace cannot take you out of. I'm telling you, there is nothing. There's nothing that God's grace can't do for you, bro. I'm telling you. So please just use God's grace, but use it right. Don't just say, "Oh God, I'm sorry," and then go do the same exact thing tomorrow. Say, "God, I'm sorry. Take this out of my heart, God. God, give me a heart like Jesus. Just change my mind, God, and help me see you more day to day, God. Whatever this thing I'm struggling with, God, just take the desire away from my heart and just put you in that position, God. And God's going to do it for you, but you have to make the intentful decision to do it as well. Like God's going to put it for you and going to give you that discernment to be like, no, but your flesh is still strong. So you have to remind yourself that you're going to fail and it's going to happen. And, realistically, if it does not feed the fire that God has given you in that spirit, you cannot consume it because it's going to take you further and further away. And once again, I'm saying it's going to happen where you're going to consume something that isn't feeding the spirit because it just happens. Our flesh, my flesh was built up for 20 years before I really came to God, bro. And I felt like, man, what am I doing? Like, I just cannot break it. Then I realized that my flesh was built up for 20 years, bro. And I just came into this for 3 months, bro. Like, of course, it's gonna be different now. Now I'm getting close to a year, bro. And I'm telling you, the things that God has taught me through experiences, through visions, through dreams, through other people, bro, it is like God is so true and God is so good. He's so good. And you got to remember that you're going to slip up and you're going to consume this on accident because the world just praises consumption. Think about everything you do to hang out with your friends, you got to pay some money. That's because that's just how the world works. Like the only thing you can enjoy without spending money is nature. And where did that nature come from? God. Everything else in this world, you go to the mall, you gotta get some food there, so you're gonna spend some money. You go to the zoo, If it's on a Monday, you're gonna get some food, so you're gonna spend the money. If you're hanging out with friends, y'all gonna probably go out to eat. You're gonna spend some money. Um, Arcades, obviously spending some money. Um, Concerts, gonna spend some money obviously to get in. Movies, gonna spend some money to get in. Games, music, bro. This record player right here, this record, dude, my stuff looks crazy. But this record player and all those records back there, bro, I don't even want to think about how much money I spent on those things. But I love it, bro. I love it. But I don't want to think about how much money I spent. But this world just praises consumption. Think about New York City. Everyone talks about going to New York City. Times Square, bro. Times Square is LED central, bro. Is blue light central. Ad central. McDonald's ad here. Coca-Cola ad here. Taylor Swift ad here. Bad Bunny ad here. Fidelity ad here. World Cup ad here. Football ad here. Baseball ad here. Wrestling ad here. Basketball ad here. Baseball ad here. Everywhere you look, there's an ad. I hate New York, bro. I genuinely hate New York, and I don't hate a lot of things. Well, I don't like to say I hate a lot of things, but I just do not like New York, bro. All it is just people trying to make you take something from them, make you buy something, bro. All the freaking dang near homeless people trying to sell stuff on the street or beg you for something. Like, I get asking for something, but these dudes, there's these African dudes that be on the street, just like they got blankets laid out with fake Gucci, fake Louis Vuitton, fake purses, fake glasses, fake hats, fake shirts, and it's just like every turn you look, hey, well, look what I got here, 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 bro. The whole world is like that, bro. Think about any job you'll have ever. You're trying to show this person their problem and show how you can solve it. The world does the exact same thing, bro. So you're going to slip up in those times where you're like, dang, this doesn't sound too bad now. This doesn't sound too bad now. But I'm telling you, bro, you endure and God's going to take care of you. God's going to give you new strength, bro. And just feeling alone when you after you realize that like this world is just like trying to use you at all times, bro. It is so lonely, and it's crazy because actually, this Sunday, we had our connection Sunday. So instead of like the usual rows that we sit in service, we had like tables we sat around and we like talked to new people, and it was I God bless me with my table because there was okay there was one, two, three, four, five, six. There were six people that were there for less than 2 months. But then there was three new people that it was either their first or second time. So it was amazing to see. And then my boy Isaiah was there with me, and we were locked in. But then we just talked about like the small group question after service was, when do you find that you're feeling most discouraged and how do you overcome it? And all of us talked about the loneliness of like really really figuring out that you're not like everyone else. And it's hard, bro. It is hard because you get to a point because God tells us do not be unevenly yoked. Unevenly yoked is I used to think about scrambled eggs. Like I would be like, what do you mean unevenly yoked? It gets scrambled either way. But unevenly yoked is there's two oxes. So back in the day, obviously they didn't have tractors or anything, so they would tie two oxes together, which would mean that they were yoked together. But if there was one ox that wanted to go off the trail, but this ox was continuously going on the straight path, the straight and narrow path, the straight and narrow path can't be taken because this ox is going on the wrong side. So then you're going and then this one's turning right and you're trying to go straight, but then you're obviously going to be pulled this way with that person off to the other side. And then it's going to mess the crops up behind you. So then you're not going to sow anything and you're not going to be able to reap anything. So then it's just like a continuous, like, you shouldn't be with the wrong people. So when you realize that you can't be with the wrong people, now you start to go by yourself and you're trying to find those people that are going to be on the same path as you, but it is so hard to find those people. In church, it's easy to find because you can tell who your people are, but then you gotta remember everyone has their own life, so it's hard to be able to build those relationships outside of church. So you have to just continuously keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, and give forgiveness when people don't really like when they kind of show you that they're kind of like, I hate to say it, but not worth the effort. You have to give them forgiveness and continuously try because they could be worth the effort like later on, but you just never know until you try. So just really like, and the world feels like the world has a piece of you. Like, and it does because it has your flesh. And your flesh it feels way bigger than what your spirit is, but your spirit is ginormously bigger than your flesh. But it feels so much bigger and stronger because it's a physical thing. Like, that's why. Ooh, that's why like having sex and doing drugs is such a big thing, or alcohol is such a big thing. Eating food is such a big thing because you're able to physically consume something to make you feel better. But God is a spiritual, unphysical thing that you can consume that makes you feel eternally better. But those physical things make you feel better for the time being, but then you have to chase it again and again and again and again. But if you sow God's word into your heart, you never have to chase anything again except God. But God's always going to be chasing you down too. But those things of the world are never going to chase you down. Those things of the world are going to sit back and be like, come get me, come get me. And you're like, I'm coming, I'm coming. But then God's waiting for you sitting in the back like, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. Wait for you. I'll take some steps towards you to show you that I'm still here, but I'm gonna be here. My hand's here whenever you want. And then you're gonna be going, like all insane, be lost. And then you're gonna turn back around and God's gonna dart towards you, bro. I'm telling you, bro, God's gonna dart towards you the second you give him your life. And not even when you give him your life, but just when you give him the thought that you believe. Just like the prodigal son. I don't know if you guys ever heard the story, but I'll give you a little tangent. Prodigal son was these two rich kids. These two rich kids, because their dad was a king. The one, he was a churchgoer. He went to church. He knew Moses' law, but he didn't treat people well. He was always a jealous person, though, envious. And the other one, he just didn't really believe. He believed, obviously, because his dad was a king and he had to follow the law, but he wanted to go do his own thing. So he tells his dad, give me my inheritance. And obviously, inheritance is for when whoever dies leaves you something. So he's basically telling him that his dad's dead to him. I don't want nothing to do with you no more. I want to go do my own thing, and I'm going to show you. And then, so the father's like, okay. So he gives the inheritance, but people forget he gives the inheritance to the lost one and the churchgoer. So he gives them both the inheritance, and they choose to do whatever they want with it. So the son goes and he leaves, and he's gone for I don't even know what the time is, but he's gone for a minute. He spends all his money probably on alcohol, food, hookers, whatever it is. He spends his money, and he has nothing left with it. So then he gets so desperate, he's eating pigs like leftovers. Like he's eating the food that falls out of pig's mouth. And mind you, pigs eat garbage. So he's down to the dumps where he's like, wow, even servants are treated better at my dad's house. Even people who serve him are treated better. They get a meal, they get somewhere to sleep. I'm gonna go back and be a servant. He thinks that he needs to go back and be lower than what he was called to be. So he goes back, and his dad was waiting for him on the porch. It doesn't say that he was, but he was sitting on the porch and just looking out. And when he saw his son, he ran towards his son to meet him and give him forgiveness and grace and love before he could feel the like ambush of the people of the city, because he knew that the second he came back he was going to get destroyed by other people. So he met his son before he saw that anguish that was coming from other people, and he showed him that love. And mind you, he's a king. He's wearing a long robe. Kings were not supposed to run at this time, but he broke the worldly laws for his son because he has so much love for his son. God does the exact same thing for us. God does things that no other God in this world would ever do for us because he breaks all those laws. So it was like, I don't even know where I was going with that. Let me think. God chasing you back down. So when you turn around, God's going to do the same thing for you. He's going to see you turn around from afar, from a distance, and be able to run back to you and give him his hand and say, this is what you got to do. I'm here for you. I love you. I'm sorry that happened for you, but here's my grace. My grace is so sufficient over those drugs. My grace is sufficient over those women. My grace is sufficient over that money. My grace is sufficient over that self-harm. My grace is sufficient over that depression, over that anxiety, over that whatever it is, that anger, whatever you're holding in your heart. God's grace is sufficient enough to take it over. and then and then you're going to kind of fall into this thing of kind of doing the same things you know you don't want to do, but it's once again just your flesh. So you just have to remember that God's grace is there for you, and just allowing change for the better. You're supposed to change. Things in this life are not supposed to stay the same. They're supposed to change overnight. Ecclesiastes is a good book to read if you're struggling with understanding that, because there's a season for everything. There's a season for war. There's a season for peace. There's a season for death. There's a season for being born. There's a season for reaping. There's a season for sowing. There's a season to be laughing. There's a season to uh, drown in sorrow. There's a season to, well, not drown, but like be in sorrow. There's a season for every single thing in this world, so things are going to change. So you just got to allow change for the better. There's change for the better that is out there for you. And just remember that God can reach you no matter how deep of a hole you dig yourself. No matter how deep, bro, I dug myself a hole so deep I thought I could never come back, bro. I remember I would fall asleep with pillows over my face hoping I didn't wake up, bro. Then I would wake up in the middle of the night like and then like jumping out of my sleep, bro. It was like crazy, bro. But God can reach you at any depth that you try to dig yourself in, or any like depth this world tries to put you in. God can reach you there. So just remember, no matter how far you are, God is going to be able to get you there. As long as you just either turn around and reach for his hand again, he's going to be there every single time. Or you look up, reach for his hand again, he's going to pull you out that hole. But it just takes time and effort to do it. And I just want to leave you guys off with some tips to like break it. This is the 5-minute clip I posted like 3 months ago that so yeah, so how to break it is just to start your day choosing direction and not waiting for a feeling. Like you have to make, I guess you could say, like an itinerary for yourself, but just make goals for yourself that you know that you need to do. Like make your non-negotiables. Like in the morning for me, got to read my Bible because that's what starts my day. I get revelation from God first thing in the morning. I need that. Praying before I even get in my Bible, thanking God for waking me up another day. Thank you for the breath you've blown into me. Thank you for everything you've done in my life. I thank you in advance for what you're going to do in my life. God, I just ask that whatever you have planned for me today, God, just help it be your will. Allow it to be your will and not my own, God. None of me and all of you, God. And then get into your word after that. But I usually like pee and brush my teeth before I do, and then I get into it but it goes back and forth which one I do. It counts on how bad I gotta pee. Um, and then staying humble and real prayers, like it's kind of like setting your compass. Like when you're humble with God, that's why having a quiet room is so big. Like this room, boy, there's been some stuff that's gone down in here spiritually, bro, and it has been crazy. But having that time with God, just to be able to like I'll be very vulnerable right now, and I'll give you a little something. God, I thank you for just pulling me out of those holes that I've been put into, either from what I was born into or whatever my flesh put me into after that, what I've chosen to put myself into, God. God, I just ask that you continue to just give me the courage and strength to be able to change the things that I'm able to change. But God, please help me understand I can't change everything, and give me the discernment to be able to understand the difference between the two, God. God, I just ask that whoever's in my life right now, God, that they're meant to be in my life, God, and whoever's not and supposed to be in my life, remove them, God, or change their hearts, God, or if they don't change their hearts, God, just remove them. God, I ask that you could just continue to keep me protected, continue to keep me in your hands, and just remind me that I'm in your hands at all times, God, because sometimes I just feel so lost, I feel so lonely, I feel so depressed, God. But I know that you're always so more sufficient than that, God. So God, I just ask that any feelings that you don't give me, any spirit that you don't give me, any peace, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, goodness, faithfulness, kindness, gentleness, what is it? Gentleness, goodness, faithfulness, and self-control, God, you can give me, God. Just anything that is not your spirit that you've given me, God, just I rebuke it in the name of Jesus, God. I rebuke all those feelings of depression, anxiety, loneliness, God. I rebuke all of it, God, because you are sufficient over it all. In Jesus' name I pray. I love and I praise you. Amen. Well, that's just like something like, that's a little something that yeah. But just stay humble within those prayers, because God is going to humble you. It's either you stay humble or God is going to humble you. Either way, you're going to get humbled. It's just your choice to choose to be humble. Um, and just cut like one or two things out leading you the wrong way. You trying to cut everything out is going to make you like insane. So just cutting those one or two things out that you know you need to get rid of in your life first, and then you'll get the discernment of the other things that you need to get rid of. But not even just cutting them out, but replacing them with something. So like replacing them with like say when I instead of me doing X, I'm gonna replace it with Y. Instead of me doing Y, I'm gonna replace it with X. So like for me, it was instead of me smoking, I'm going to worship and I'm going to pray and I'm going to read my Bible because those are the things that give me that connection that I'm trying to feel from that drug. So just replacing it with things of God instead of things of temporary things. And using God's grace correctly. I talked about this a little earlier, but using God's grace correctly and just not using it as a his grace is sufficient enough. It doesn't matter what I do, but using it as reminding yourself that you're not disqualified from God just because you're struggling, you know. And just building small and consistently, like your first thing can be like starting to read a chapter or two in the Bible. Like that can be small and consistent, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Getting more into God's presence, like His Word, or prayer, or worship, or godly people around you, like people that you know go to church and live like a better life than other people around. I don't even like to say that, but like who seem different than others, like hanging around those people, because whoever you hang around, you're gonna become that person sooner or later. Truly, 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 truly. So yeah, guys, that's really all I have. I hope that you guys were able to take something away from this. This was very out of my comfort zone. Well, not really, because I like talking. Like I like talking. I like getting it out of my system. But the thing of people actually hearing it is what gets me a little scared. I don't even like to say scared, but like nervous. But yeah, guys, I really hope that like everything you've taken away from this was able to help you in your journey. If it does, I'm not even saying it's for my own benefit, but I just want to hear about it. Like if you want to text me, Instagram, TikTok, if you want to comment, if just whatever helped you, let me know so I can do something for someone else too. Please, I'm asking, please. So I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much, and I just want to say, good things are coming and good things are on the way as long as you choose for those good things to come. Red car theory, I leave you, look up the red car theory. Whatever you're thinking is going to come to you. So I ask that you guys really think about what thoughts are processing and what thoughts you're going to choose, because your thoughts are going to come no matter what. It's your choice to choose them. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I can't wait to see you again. Can't wait to hear from you again. Good things are coming. Good things are on the way. Peace, bro.